Well, I think the journey for me has always been one of them things where hard work pays off. And growing up in North Philly and around the situations and violence and the drugs that I grew up around, I had good people around me. My brother did a good job, my mom did a good job, my grandmother did a good job of making sure I stay in the right path and executed the plan for me to get the education, stay out of the streets, and make something of myself.
What types of things did you do? Now there's an urban legend that you used to run with bricks in the book bag, and where does that type of drive come from? Other than your brother.
Sure, I think a lot of it comes from my brother, but I think a lot of it just comes from people always doubting and people not understanding. That it takes hard work to get to a certain spot, and I was never the guy that was the most talented, the most highly touted. I was always the guy that was like, yeah, he's good, but he's good, but he can do this, but. So that just pushed me to motivate myself and to make sure that I became the best person and player I could possibly be, no matter how hard it was, how much work it took. I remember one day I went on Christmas, I called one of the coaches at Temple, who was a good friend of mine, to let me in the gym. And I went in that gym and shot for an hour and a half by myself. And that was on Christmas, so that's just one of the things, that's just the hard work just pays off, man.
Now talk about your experience. You were at Cardinal Doherty. Y'all kept getting to the doorstep, couldn't get past St. Joe's Prep.
I lost 3 championships in my high school career for varsity, so that's something I'm not going to go back on because it's kind of still hurtful. But it was fun to be able to have an opportunity to play with my teammates and my friends that I had back then.
Then you go to Villanova. You lived on West.
I lived on West in St. Mary's by myself my freshman year, and had an opportunity to just be myself. Man. I didn't have nobody to worry about. Kind of grow up a little bit, and then my sophomore year, I lived with a couple of walk-ons and managers, and it was a blur. And one thing I always say, I didn't really enjoy college like I could have, but I had fun.
People look at you and what you did and some of your teammates as like what became like Jay Wright being known for point guards.
I think it was just a situation that coach put us in. He put the best players on the floor. We just happened to all be point guards in our growing up. And we all turned into, Avery turned into a 2-guard, Naughty turned into a 2-guard, Randy was a 2-guard, turned 3/4, but we all were put in situations where we had to adapt and adjust, and I think that's what made us all good players.
When I look back at where you come from 10 years ago to where you are now, one of the things that really surprised me about you was like you were never really big into sneakers. Like it was like, yeah, I need them for basketball, but like I'm good. You were really mindful of other things, and that always struck me like, dang, Kyle's like,
I don't care about sneakers,
really mature.
I couldn't afford them.
Yeah,
that's why. I just needed something to play in, but that's that's life. Growing up the way I grew up, it happens, man. It happens.
Now, I know you wanted to go to Villa.
Yeah. I went to Nova, and I couldn't afford Sneaker Villa, so I don't even think it was Sneaker Villa back then. I don't know what it was.
Well, it was Sneaker Villa, now it's Villa.
Yeah, I don't that's what I'm saying. I couldn't afford it, so I didn't go. I just looked at window shopping. I was 50 cents.
Yeah.
50 cents.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Man.